Hey everyone, welcome to my channel, The Crafty Creech. Please like and subscribe to see more content in the future. So I acquired these outdated little tables and I have been eager to try to bleach something. As you can see, the finish on these are super dark. They are solid pine. So my thought is because they are solid wood, they will be a good candidate for what I'm wanting to try. The first thing I'm going to have to do is sand these babies down to the bare wood. It's bitter cold out today, so I'm going to use a 40 grit sandpaper to get this finish off quick. I would not normally recommend using that low of a grit, but it's cold outside, and because they are solid wood, they can handle it. I normally start off with a higher grit sandpaper, like an 80 grit. I would never use a 40 grit on a veneer because you would burn right through it. After sanding these tables with my 40 grit, I went back over them with the 80 grit, then with the 120 grit to give them a smooth finish and to get rid of some swirl marks made from my sander. Remember, when sanding, you do not need to push hard. Just let your sander do the work. I had to do a bit of some hand sanding because there are a lot of curved areas that my sander could not reach. When everything was sanded, I used a clean rag and wiped off dust from my sander. Time for the exciting part, the bleach. I have never done this before, so this is going to be quite the experiment for me. As we all know, bleach is like liquid gold during a pandemic, but I did have some lemon scented bleach on hand. I really wasn't sure if that was going to make a difference, but I decided to try anyways. I used a cheap chip brush and brushed the first application of bleach on. Boy, were they yellow. Pine normally has a yellow or orangish tone, but I wasn't sure if these were turning out so yellow because of that, or if it was because I was using a lemon scented bleach. The next morning, I brushed on the second coat after the first coat was dry. They were still pretty yellow. Then a few hours later, I did a third coat. They were still quite yellow. I repeated this 7 times, and about the 5th application, I could really tell the yellow wood was starting to lighten. On the 7th application, I decided I was ready to move on. I took a white stain from Varathane and applied it with an old sock. This is my preferred method, but you can also apply stain with a brush or foam brush. I try to apply with the grain of the wood. After my white stain dried, I wanted to accentuate the curved areas on the tables and create some highlights. So I took some lime wash glaze and a small paintbrush and applied around the curved areas. I then took my finger and blended and rubbed the lime wash glaze in. I also did this around the edges and the corners. The very last thing I did was seal with a clear brushing lacquer. I thinned it down with a paint thinner first to make it easier to brush on. I did 1 coat on the base and 3 coats on the top. I'm super happy with my experiment, and it obviously made no difference to use a lemon scented bleach. I hope you enjoyed this video, and please let me know down in the comments what you think. And don't forget to ring my bell and subscribe. Thank y'all so much for watching.